Have you ever looked at your life and thought, this is not it? And then when you do decide that you want to have higher standards for yourself and change your life, you get overwhelmed and think to yourself, where do I even start? Me too. I was 16. I was in a toxic Eastern European high school. I felt trapped. I hated my life. I just wanted an escape. And I just felt like there was no meaning to my life. I felt like I was lacking purpose. So on my 17th birthday, I decided to go all in. I deleted all social media and I decided to pick one skill that I believed at that time was a good opportunity and that I believed that would help me be able to just escape the life that I hated so much. Spoiler alert, I did make that happen. And that year completely changed my life. I was able to switch schools, pay for a private high school, graduate earlier. I met the love of my life. I built my business. I left my hometown and I just started my new life. But what happened after was just the start of this journey, the start of becoming a 1% woman. I realized that my purpose in life was to make it a masterpiece, to have incredibly high standards for myself and achieve them. Now, I don't care if you're working 9 to 5, a student, or a stay at home wife. If you have a vision of the kind of woman you want to become, just know that that dream was placed in your heart for a reason. And you might be thinking, but I've tried to change my life before. I tried this and that, and it never sticks. Or you feel like you may be too inconsistent. That was me as well. And I get it, but I'll let you in on a little secret. You only have to make it work one time in order to win. You have tried for 10 times already, but that 11th time, if it works, like you're done. You made it work basically. Just try until you make it work. I realize that most people fool themselves into believing that those high standards that they have are unrealistic. And that's just because the people that they're surrounded by don't have them. And it's obviously more comfortable to stay the way your current environment is. Even I thought it's normal to have that little belly fat, to not be super toned or lean, or not have that glowy, dewy skin. It may be normal because most people don't look that toned, they are not that lean, they still have that belly fat, they don't care that much about how they look, or they do, but they don't do what's necessary to make it better. And of course, it may be normal to have it, but it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be that way. Obviously, there are some people in this world that don't have that look amazing, make a lot of money, have an amazing relationship. And of course, some may have better genetics, but even the ones who do have amazing genetics, they still are not perfect. So they will still have some deficiencies or some areas where they are lacking, and they still have to work for it and they still have to improve other things maybe in their life. Maybe they look amazing, but they have worse mindset and they have to put in more work to improve their mindset. So that doesn't mean just because they have amazing skin that they are perfect. By no means, they are not. But even if they have amazing genetics, they still have to work. People who look amazing and have all these things and don't have the genetics, well, you know they worked for them. So if they didn't have them and now they do, what's stopping you from getting that? What was stopping me from getting that? So one day I just thought to myself, why not me? Why not get a 1% body, 1% bank account, 1% business, 1% relationship, 1% skin? Why not me? And why not you? So now that we got this out of the way, where do you even start as a woman who wants it all? Well, I'll tell you where I did. I defined the 6 most important areas in my life, and I'm gonna walk you through them. The first one was fitness, health, and wellness. And the goal with that was to build a lean, sculpted body that didn't just look good, but actually worked as a whole. And I will break down what that means. I also wanted to build healthy habits that will allow me to live a long life without useless complications. And I wanted to build confidence through working out. I wanted the gym or the Pilates studio to be my also safe space and also the place where I know I'm going to grow, the place where I go when I don't want to go and I build that mental toughness and mental muscle to do things I don't want to do and build my confidence this way. So to achieve those goals, I looked at myself and I realized what I was lacking. And now I'm going to tell you the things that I decided I was going to fix or work on. Firstly, I wanted to fix my posture. I still am slouching a lot, and I have anterior pelvic tilt, which is basically where your belly collapses a bit forward and you have this S on your lower back, and your butt is a bit out. So your butt looks good, but then your belly doesn't look good, because even though you may be super skinny, your organs and like your posture basically makes you look like you still have belly. So that was one of the things I really wanted to fix, and also mostly because my back was also hurting, and it still is. I haven't fixed it yet, but I have seen improvements already. And then I also decided to lose some weight. I wanted to build muscle mass because it's the best thing long term for your body. I decided to fix my body from within, not just like doing skincare or putting makeup on, but I wanted to glow from within. I wanted to be healthy and basically detox from within. So I started doing celery juices, I'm doing red light therapy, and so on. Then I also cut out toxic habits or just didn't pick up on them, like alcohol, smoking. I'm trying to minimize sugar. I have a very sweet tooth. I was obsessed with sweets my whole life. But lately, I've been really avoiding sugar as much as possible because it hurts your skin and like your overall body a lot. And it's basically a drug because it gives addiction. Then the next area was relationship. And I got into a relationship pretty young. As I said, the year I turned 17 was the year that changed my whole life, basically. And I started dating the man of my dreams. And that I wasn't planning that at all. But when I saw him, I knew it. So I didn't want to let that slip away. So I had to level up a lot in my relationship and in the way I viewed it and in the way I behaved and the expectations that I was having. So the number one goal with that was to just drop the ego and the entitlement. I wanted to deepen emotional maturity and ultimately experience the best relationship that I could ever have. And so I decided to work on being less selfish. I decided to be less entitled. Well, to have zero entitlement in my relationship. I learned to drop my ego for the sake of solving conflict and not just trying to be right. I'm still working on that, but I've obviously seen improvements. And one of the other things was also becoming more secure with myself and in my relationship. The next one is business. That was and kind of still is the thing that I put most of my time into. So, and I would say also maybe focus. So all the rest maybe are like 30% that I'm working on right now, and business is maybe 70. Well, no, actually now it's a bit less, 60 and 40, I would say. But there was a long time where business was like 95% and 5% were all the rest all together. But obviously, like across my life, I want them to all be pretty equal. And with business, the goals were that I didn't just want to build a business that makes money, but one that makes me happy. And I'm still working on that. Hopefully the third time is a charm, because when I started out, I didn't think this way. I just wanted to build a wildly successful business. I don't even really know why. Well, of course, I wanted a lot of money and a lot of financial freedom, but I was also like pretty ambitious, but I didn't really know why. So I was kind of going about it the wrong way, I'd say, especially now in hindsight. And that's what I'm working on doing differently from now on. And I also had a very big productivity issue that I wanted to fix. And actually, it got so much better when I started working on things that I enjoyed more. But I'm gonna talk about all that in another video because it's just such a big topic. But yeah, I basically decided I was going to be more disciplined and productive by doing something I enjoyed more and wanted to do more, because then it's much easier to be productive and disciplined. I said no to more immediate money and I took a step back, just because I truly wanted to build something that I was really passionate about and that I felt called to do. And then I also looked back at the mistakes that I have made, and I had tough conversations with myself and with others. And yeah, that's pretty much what I decided I was going to do about business. Then the next one is mindset. And the number one goal was to reprogram and rewire my brain and really drop all the limiting beliefs that I had inside of my brain, because let's be honest, most of us have so many limiting beliefs and so many beliefs that keep us unhappy. Like, it's insane. We're probably filled with 90% of beliefs that are outside of ourselves, that are imposed by us, by society and parents, and just like the environment that we end up growing in. So that was one of the biggest things. I just wanted to get unstuck and be able to live the life that I truly dreamed of, not that I thought I dreamed of. And then second, which is kind of intertwined, I wanted to reconnect with myself more, trust my decisions, and just feel more like I'm leading my own life. As I said, that I wanted to live life on my terms. And then third was redefining happiness as a job from within, as something to do from within, and reaching an 80% happy life. So feeling 80% of the time good emotions or good feelings, and just 20% bad feelings, anxiety, fear, disappointment, anger, or whatever, because those are necessary in order to make changes to your life. But I wanted an 80% peaceful and happy life. I'm not there yet. And for this, I decided I was going to work on my people pleasing issues, heal from taking so much responsibility at such a young age. As I said, I started at 17. I also wanted to still, while healing from that, I wanted to still keep my sky high standards. I wanted to understand, like to truly comprehend this within myself, that it's never too early and it's never too late. I also wanted to reconnect with my parents more, which I thankfully did, and I'm so, so grateful for that. And ultimately create an abundant mindset. Get out of this scarcity mindset completely and just feel abundant and live from a place of happiness and abundance and peace and purpose in my life. And then the last two are kind of connected, beauty and fashion. And for beauty, I just wanted to feel more powerful, desirable, beautiful, and magnetic in my own skin. So I started building beauty rituals and habits that helped me enhance that and build that. I started getting my lashes and brows done. I started doing laser hair removal. I started putting on more makeup. I started going to to the hair salon weekly, which was a dream of mine since I was little, just because I have curly hair and it's so hard to take care of it. So that's making my life so much easier, and I always feel so much more beautiful if I have my hair done. Minimal skincare and elegant soft makeup. Then for fashion, the goal was to just build an elegant, timeless, and feminine, while still kind of giving off that powerful vibe, wardrobe and style. I decided to invest in pieces that made me feel happy that I was alive and excited to wake up and put on those outfits, which I could say I already kind of achieved that, but I'm still working on it, as always. Now, that's what a 1% woman is. A woman who wants it all and doesn't settle, who is capable of having super high standards while also being kind to herself and not beating herself up that she doesn't have them yet. A woman who is fulfilled, loves her life, and is excited to wake up in the morning. She wants to look hot AF, meet the love of her life, have that dream business or career, have that dream body, and be healthy to live a non-complicated life while also being the most desirable woman when she walks into a room. Now, here's where most women go wrong and where I did too. I have 5 things. You will see some of them are actually contradictory. 1, waiting for the perfect time to start. Thinking we need to fix everything at once, or that every day we have to win at all these areas that I mentioned right now earlier. And I just wanted to tell you and try to ingrain into you that that's not true. You have to accept imperfection. You have to accept that you cannot win at everything at the same exact second, but you can win at everything in your entire life. The 1% woman is not about being perfect. It's about doing the work to become the most desirable woman when no one else is. 2, letting ourselves be influenced by someone else's definition of success. The irony is that most times, in order to get there, you have to rewire most of your thinking. And by the time you become a 1% woman, that 1% title won't even matter to begin with. I had to understand that I'm the only one living my life, and that trying to apply other people's rules of success or rules of life to my life was just gonna get me end up being miserable and just unhappy in my life and not content at all. So I created my own definition of success. I don't want to build a $1 billion company. I want to build a company that I am passionate about, that I want to wake up excited to work on. One that doesn't feel like work, one that feels like play. And funnily enough, most super successful entrepreneurs that are still happy in their lives, they had to at some point pivot and build a company that they were more passionate about. And at that point, they even stopped chasing the monetary success. And that's where they actually started blowing up. So they actually get significantly richer when they put their passion above the money and their purpose. So that's actually a pretty funny thing to know. 3, feeling like if we struggle with anxiety, overthinking, or any negative emotions or bad habits, we will never become a 1% woman. Now let me ask you this. Do you expect to have your dream, your absolute dream body with one workout and then never have to work out again in your entire life to keep that? Do you believe that? Probably not, right? So why would you believe that with one meditation or with one reframing, you will never have to deal with that mental push-up or mental workout ever again in your life? Why do you think that? Why do you expect that of yourself? Give yourself some grace, girl. Your brain works the same way as your body muscles. It's a mental muscle, as my boyfriend likes to call it. So every time you get anxiety and you walk yourself through it, you help yourself reframe it, you help yourself get out of it, it's not like you solved it forever and you never have to come back to it again. No, that was just a mental workout. You just worked out once. And in order to get that dream body and keep it, you probably have to work out at least, at the minimum, 3 times per week, if not more. So just think about this. If you work out 3 times per week, but like an hour, okay? So you can work out multiple times with your brain for like 5 minutes, okay? Which you probably are. That's at least how my mind works, that I get a bit of anxiety in the morning. I walk myself out of it. It took maybe 10 minutes to do that. So if I do that 3 times a day, that's like 30 minutes a day. That's a workout, and it's normal and it's expected. And the moment you start believing this and you start telling yourself that it's completely okay, it's supposed to be this way, it's entirely expected to be this way, then also 90% of the pressure goes off. Like, you lose 90% of the pressure that you put on yourself to not have panic attacks, to not have anxiety, to not overthink, to not have bad emotions. All that, well, not all that, 90% of that already goes away because you are not trying to just get out of it forever and then beat yourself up when it comes back in 2 hours or the next day. This just helped me a lot, so I hope it will help you as well. 4, lowering our standards just because the people around us call them unrealistic. Because 99% of people say it's okay to be fat, to live an average life, to not make a lot of money, to smoke, party all weekend, escape your current reality, and end up unhealthy and just miserable in your life and lack purpose. Just because 99% of people say that that's okay, we, you, me, we are lowering our standards. Imagine just how crazy that sounds. It's insane that we change our dreams just because 99% of people who are very unhappy in their lives call our expectations unrealistic. That's like comedy. It is okay to want a dream body. It is okay to want a successful business or successful career. It is okay to want an amazing man. It is okay to want a family. It is okay to want to be super beautiful. It is okay to want to be super healthy and have amazing wellness habits. It is okay. It may be not that normal because most people don't do it, but it's okay and it's definitely achievable. Also, even if you don't have it yet, don't beat yourself up for not having it right now, but be excited for the opportunity to get there, for the opportunity to get all the dreams that you ever had in your brain. That's just like exciting. And I'm also here to walk along you. So what can you do right now to get started? First, you decide that you are the type of woman who has unrealistic expectations for herself and her life and the people around her. You decide you are the type of woman that does not beat herself up for not having it yet, but will stop at nothing to get it. And then I want you to go on Pinterest and I want you to create a board for each of these areas, and also feel free to add any other areas that are super important to you in your life. And I want you to add 5 to 10 pictures to each board that inspire you and that you feel like truly represent what you want out of your life, that they truly represent that vision that you have. And then I wanted to DM them on Instagram to me because I really want to see them. And I think it will also help you with a bit of accountability. And in the next episode, we are going to make a plan to achieve all those. So if you found value in this episode, I hope you will stick around my channel and my page. My goal is to help you become the woman of your dreams, while I am also becoming the woman of my dreams. I'm so happy you found my channel, and I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.